Hello there, Vic Benedict here. We're playing Ninja Gaiden 2 on the Series X, and this is my mission mode Master Ninja difficulty Gaiden walkthrough. We're currently on mission 21 of 24. It is also survival mission 4 of 8, and it is the Blade of the Archfiend. So this is the mission that I had no problems with. Like I had, you can tell from the video length, it's quite succinct. And anytime an enemy is cut in half like that and they're crawling around, what you want to do is fly swallow them, because that's a quick way to execute them. Wind run into flying swallow, and yeah, I really enjoyed and had no issues with the Blade of the Archfiend. And even though I'm using the windmill shuriken here, I would say that it's not very necessary to use it. Go to town. I went to town with the I don't know if it was later in the mission, but the UT with this weapon is fantastic. I mean, it's a little longish, but it's a devastating and really enjoyable UT to use. And I'm hoping, I'm not saying that I'm reporting back that I had zero issues with this, because there's nothing worse than somebody that's having an issue with a weapon, then they come along and hear someone say like they're having no issues with it. It makes the person that is having a problem feel bad, and I don't want that at all. I'm just hopefully saying that so that maybe it is true that it's a fairly straightforward mission to get through with this weapon. Now you do have some dogs here, so be really careful. This is probably the hardest part of the mission. So, save your Nimpo here if you need to, and definitely, if you need to use incendiaries, do that. But definitely use staggered essence to do UTs with your main weapon. You don't want to use the windmill shuriken on the dogs. You don't want to use the windmill shuriken on anything that can't be delimbed, because it's just fruitless. Yes, and as far as moves for this weapon, I don't think there's many that need to be brought out of the woodwork and discussed, because you have the flying swallow that you can use. You have the Yazuna drop. You've got I think the UT pretty much suffices. You really don't need to use the windmill shuriken here. I mean, maybe half and half or something like that if you are having problems, but this weapon has such a great UT. And looking back at this footage, I am using the windmill shuriken more than I remembered that I used it, but because when I think back to this mission, I just remember spamming the UT with this weapon and having a tremendous amount of success. Maybe that was on another run that got lost, or maybe I had designs about redoing this mission. I don't remember, but it's one of the missions that you definitely don't need the windmill shuriken for. And I'm sorry I'm harping on the windmill shuriken so much, but the only other weapon that you really don't need the windmill shuriken for is the scythe, which I'm not sure. I know we haven't done that mission yet, but it will be coming up shortly, because we are winding down on these survival missions. And maybe it was too, maybe I'm just thinking of it with rose-tinted lenses, so to speak, and I'm not, remembering some of the suffering I may have had prior to this success. Maybe I just got really fortunate with the drops here. So, don't let what I'm saying, give you false hopes potentially, because maybe the game will be a little rougher than it was for you, than it was for me here. But I mean, we're already at 2 million. I usually don't get the 2 million by the bugs, but it looks like we're just about there. Maybe it's the fact that it's a level 4 weapon too, and it's particularly damaging, like the True Dragon Sword. Because your weapons, they are all maxed out here. So hopefully this one wasn't too bad for you. Let's have a look and see what comes after this. Because I know on some of these missions, I remember seeing some red dragons. Oh, we got some dogs here? Yes, these dogs here, not too much of a problem with the dual swords or like the dragon sword, because you can fly swallow these and then use staggered essence to facilitate charges in that respect. Its ET isn't particularly strong though. That's the thing. It's got to be the UT. That's the thing. So I am using some incendiaries on these dogs, and then he grabs me. Now on those grabs, you can get out of them. If you are at the verge of death, though, they'll do their explosion on you and kill you. But you know, if you've got enough health to wiggle out of, you can, literally. But a situation like this with other weapons would be quite difficult. Like with the Kasarigama, I believe it has this same batch of enemies. It might not be the same environment, but I definitely remember having some problems with that. So yeah, you can escape that grab like that. That was pretty quick that we got him off of us. And then of course the 360Y is fantastic as well with this. But I didn't think pointing that out was you know, it's kind of obvious to point that out, but that's a move where you've got to be standing still, and when you're standing still in a situation like these survival missions, you're very vulnerable, so you need to be quite careful if you're just going to be standing still using the 360Y. And that is our death, but it's okay because we're well past what we needed to do there, and I hope that this mission wasn't too arduous for you, and I hope that my views about it being one of the more enjoyable and manageable missions, hope that was going to be true for you as much as it was for me. So I will see you in the next video, and until then, please take care.